welcome back to the Barrel Zone. 27th of January, Wednesday morning. We have a 10-12 game NBA slate to break down. We will get right into it. A lot of action, a lot of interesting games. This will be a good one. I'm putting up my odds screen. In the meantime, some notes. There won't be a show tomorrow. There are only 4 games tomorrow, so I'll be skipping that. I will be back on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have pretty big slates through the weekend. So today we have the 12 game slate, no show tomorrow, then 3 shows in a row to end the week. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. I will tweet out some analysis tomorrow for the games when we don't have the show. If you want to tail my plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and join the Discord channel. And we will get right into it. Pretty great slate. So first game, Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Detroit Pistons. Line opened up Cleveland -2. It moved out to -3. Yeah, it's an interesting one. My line here is closer to 2.5. So I show some value on the Pistons, but I would probably personally lean towards the Cavs. It's an interesting situation for the Pistons. They will play the Lakers tomorrow. Obviously, way bigger game. They're hosting it at home. Griffin is already announced out for this game, and they have been leaning towards kind of punting the first games of these back-to-backs, especially if there are bigger games on the tail end. Also, the Pistons, I think they have only just 1 win on the road. They are 1-6. And this is a really good spot for the Cavs. It's game 3 of a longer homestand. And I think stylistically this sets up kind of well for them. I will go into that in a minute. So yeah, Larry Nance is questionable for Cleveland. He has been pretty decent, but their front court is so filled with good guys right now, especially after the Allen trade, that I don't think if he's out that would be an issue for Cleveland. So yeah, Pistons have been pretty decent. They are, I think, in most rankings or most rating systems, they are the worst team in the league right now. But through the last 2 weeks, they have been the 15th ranked offense and the 15th ranked defense. So they have been league average, outperforming the spreads by more than 6 points. Problem is that they cannot really score enough to hang in games. They can score enough to cover games. We've seen it when they are big dogs, but I mean it's a low total. I really like Cleveland, to be honest. Their offense have been graded as the 8th best offense through the last 2 weeks. They are +4 against the spread also, but the approach has been totally different since Sexton and Garland came back. I think overall the Cleveland offense is way more talented. And yeah, standalone road game for Detroit with hosting the Lakers tomorrow. They only have 1 road win so far. Yeah, so I would lean towards Cleveland, but I show slight value on the Pistons. I don't think I'll get involved here. But maybe if you need like a moneyline parlay piece, I think the Cavs are a pretty good look against this Pistons squad that has been overperforming, and also the Cavs are attacking the paint a lot, and they have pretty decent success and good rebounding. I think they will have the overall better rebounding and the better offensive success here. So yeah, I would lean towards the Cavs, but they are slightly overpriced here. Next game, Orlando Magic, Sacramento Kings. This is one that I like a lot. I'm leaning towards Orlando. It's a pretty strong lean. My line could be a bit off. I'm usually really close to these opponents, but the current line is Magic -1.5, and I'm closer to 4 here. So yeah, I might be a bit too high on the Magic and a bit too low on the Kings. I have been talking about the Kings Kings. This is the absolute low they hit. I don't think the market will rate them worse than this. And while the Magic have been struggling, they are still a pretty capable team. So Whiteside and Bagley are probable for the Kings, but neither are 100% when it comes to their health. And a couple of backups in the front court are out. So Jabari Parker is out. Nemanja is also out. So yeah, they will be pretty thin and banged up in the front court, which could be trouble against Vucevic here, who is a beast, obviously. So the Kings, through the last 2 weeks, are grading as the worst defense in the league. They are allowing 123 points per 100 possessions, minus 10 average point differential, minus 7.5 against the spread on average. The Magic weren't really good through the last 2 weeks, but they have faced a tough schedule. But still, their defense ranks around league average through the last 2 weeks against a tough schedule with many injuries. So yeah, the only unit in this whole game is the Orlando defense that I'm kind of trusting. And they have a huge rebounding edge here. The Orlando team ranks 12th in offensive rebounding and 5th in defensive rebounding. So yeah, I think the rebounding and the solid defense will be the difference maker. And even if the Magic guys are struggling offensively, I mean, against this team, everyone can score. I mean, teams are putting up just career highs against the Kings right now. And the defense is not something you can fix within a game or two. I would probably expect some positive regression from their offense more than the defense, as they aren't really hitting the shots. But yeah, this is a long home stand for the Magic. This is, I think, game 3 of a 5-game home stand. So no look ahead angles, nothing. They got Gordon back, Fournier back. I think Gordon, Vucevic, and Fournier. I mean, those 3 guys are pretty decent. Yeah, I'm liking the Magic a lot here. I think if you can grab a cheap money line, this should be a low scoring game. I think the 222 total is a bit too high, even with how the Kings defense sets up. The Magic won't score that much, but I think they will be winning this game by out rebounding the Kings and just being the way better defense here. So yeah, heavy lean towards the Magic. I like the current price. I think yeah, and this open -1, it's already 1.5. I think this probably gets up to 2.5, maybe even 3. As I said, I might be too high on the Magic and too low on the Kings, but I mean, I cannot get close to this number. All right, next game, Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers. Game is off the board as we have a huge questionable tag on the Pacers side. Sabonis is questionable with the bruised knee. There isn't a big issue with him, so x-rays came back negative. Nothing serious, but he may sit this one out. He's averaging 20 points, 12 rebounds. I think he's the second best player on the team right now, along with Brogdon. He's worth at least 2.5, maybe 3 points to the team currently. So this current line we have on Softbooks, Hornets -1.5. I think that's like a middle point between someone is playing and sitting out, which is completely fair. We have no idea if he will go or not. I would probably sit him out if I was the coach. I mean, I'm not high on the Hornets. They have been grading around the 25th in the league on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they regressed a ton. They are allowing 4 more points per 100 possessions through the last 2 weeks than they did before. They have a -7 point differential through this stretch, have been underperforming the spreads by more than 3 points. And the Pacers haven't been good defensively since Oladipo left, but still they are grading better on both sides of the ball. And one thing I really like from the Pacers here, they are attacking the rim at the highest rate from out of all teams in the league. 44% of their shots are coming within 4 feet of the rim, obviously with Sabonis and Turner running the attack. And Charlotte grades as a 10th worst defense both in frequency and field goal percentage allowed in these shots that are coming close to the rim. On the other side, the Hornets are also liking to attack the rim at a similarly high rate, and the Pacers are allowing the sixth lowest field goal percentage here. So yeah, I think stylistically this sets up well for the Pacers. They will probably be able to attack the rim if Sabonis is in, obviously, huge if. And they might be able to shut the Hornets' bigs down. So yeah, I mean, if you look at the big picture, the Pacers are still, I think, a playoff team in the East, and the Hornets are a bottom 5 team. And the Hornets are favorites. So yeah, I could see some Pacers money. Even if Sabonis is out, I would lean towards them. But yeah, you have to follow the injuries. I think the line is right. I would lean towards the Pacers at the current line. Next game, Toronto Raptors hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 6 points on the road. Huge questionable again here. Siakam for Toronto is questionable. He's averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds. He's not the best, most efficient offensive piece on the team. To tell the truth, he is pretty bad when it comes to scoring efficiency, but he's a key part in the passing game. Yeah, he is worth a few points here. My line would be Milwaukee -4 here if he plays. So the -6 assumes that he won't play or is leaning towards him not playing. This can get to 7 if he's announced out, I think. The Bucks are on extra rest. Raptors playing third game in 4 nights. A few things about Milwaukee. I'm really not impressed by the defense. They have been ranking around the middle of the league through the whole season defensively, but through the past 2 weeks they are grading as the 21st best defense. So pretty shitty, to be honest. They are allowing 114 points per 100 possessions. Last season, the Bucks had consistently the best average point differential through the whole year. Like they were sitting around +7, 8, 9, stuff like that. Through the last 2 weeks, they are sitting at +3. They are underperforming spreads by almost 4 points on average. The defense isn't the defense we've seen last year. I think it's a huge issue. Toronto has just an average offense, so it could be a wash. And on the other side, I'm pretty sure Milwaukee will be able to score. The Raptors defense has been stepping it up. They are grading as the 7th best defense through the last 2 weeks. They are allowing 7 less points through this stretch than they did before the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean, if you watch the interviews, everyone is talking about stepping it up defensively, and they did that. And they are looking good, but I mean, stopping this Milwaukee offense isn't easy. I think Milwaukee will be able to score, and on the other side, it's a wash between the Toronto offense and the Milwaukee defense. But I mean, the Bucks are laying 6 points on the road. That's a lot. So yeah, if I had to take a side, I would lean towards the Raptors. I don't buy Milwaukee yet. I think the defense is bad. This is a low total also. Yeah, regardless of Siakam playing, to be honest, maybe I would even prefer if he's out, and this moves more towards the Bucks, and we can get like a 7.5. Yeah, I think if he's out, 6 is the right line, and this will move probably to 7.5 if he's announced out. So we will probably have line value on the Raptors if Siakam sits. Next game, Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets. Another one where I think there is some line value on the dog. So the Hawks are playing home back-to-back. They played around 35 minutes last night, their starters. I would make this around Brooklyn -4.5 to 5. The game is off the board right now, but some books are hanging a 7, and you can even find 7.5. So I think Bet365 has a 7.5. So yeah, Young hasn't been tagged as questionable, but I think everyone is thinking that he might not play here. So there wasn't any official word on this, but this 7.5 is a line for me where Young is probably not playing. This can get maybe to 8, but I don't think it will get over 8. So yeah, I'm not sure about his status, obviously, but my line is closer to 4.5 to 5 here, and that's factoring in the back-to-back for the Hawks, obviously. So yeah, overall in the game, I would have to lean towards Atlanta. I really don't like what the Nets are doing. Since the big three is together, they are grading as the third best offense, but the 24th best defense in the league. So they are only scoring about 2 points more than they are giving up through 100 possessions, which isn't really great. Um, Huge rebounding edge for Atlanta. I cannot overstate that. They are third in offensive rebounding and 13th in defensive rebounding. Brooklyn ranks 24th in both. Atlanta is first in free throw rate. Brooklyn is just fourth. I mean, I really like the matchup for Atlanta because of the rebounding, the free throws, and they are a strong 3-point defense. And the Nets are really dependent on that. They are shooting the eighth most threes in the league, and they are top three in percentage. And the Hawks are relying the second lowest percentage from downtown. So yeah, I think this sets up well for another close game between these two. We've seen it twice already, high-scoring close game. Hopefully, Young plays, but if you sit on a 7.5 right now with the Hawks, I think that's a fair line to grab. I mean, he isn't questionable or nothing. This is just maybe the market is just afraid that he will sit. There is a chance, but I think grabbing a 7.5 for a smaller bet is the way to go right now if you have access. Brooklyn defense is total trash. Hawks will be able to put up points. Capella will have probably another big game despite him playing last night. Yeah, Brooklyn needs to grab some help. Front court is super thin. Bench is non-existent. I don't like the team. All right, next game, LA Lakers on the road, 2-point favorites at Philadelphia. I think obviously LeBron James questionable with a sprained ankle. We've seen this 1,000 times. He's always questionable. He always plays. He was questionable with an ankle through the last time. He scored 46 points. Everyone is playing for Philly. I think everyone will play for the Lakers. LA through the last 2 weeks, they have a plus 15 point differential, plus 11 through the whole season. The best defense in the league, bar none, both short and long term, and they are top 5 offense. For Philly, I mean, they have been hurt by injuries, this COVID thing, but they are grading just top 10-ish on both sides of the ball. Overall, I think they are a tough defense, but offensively, if Embiid is out or not producing, they are struggling. So it's really just Embiid who's putting up the big numbers. Simmons is super inconsistent on the offensive end. Obviously, he's a great defender. But this is a tough matchup for Embiid to shine against AD, obviously, and the other LA bigs. So through the whole season, Philly ranks offensively 16th in points per possession, 13th in effective field goal percentage, 27th in turnover rate, and 11th in offensive rebounding, and second in free throw rate. I'm always talking about how this squad really needs strong rebounding and many free throws drawn to be competitive offensively, as they aren't an efficient offense. So the problem on the other side of the ball, LA lowest points per possession allowed, fourth lowest effective field goal percentage allowed, 14th highest turnovers forced, and here comes the main issue: first in defensive rebounding and second in free throw rate. So yeah, I think rebounding edge goes to LA. They won't give Philly those free throws they need to stay competitive. And LA is one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the league, while Philly allows the 8th highest 3-point percentage. So yeah, I think Lakers will be able to put up points. They are the better rebounding team. They won't give up those extra free throws. Yeah, and that -2. I mean, that's almost nothing to lay on the road. You just have you have to pick the winner of the game. I think even if everyone is back for Philly, I mean, guys had long layoffs. There are some injuries here and there. They aren't like 100%. I think the Lakers are deeper. They should probably win this on the road. Miami Heat hosting the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are laying 5 points on the road. This is a game where I think the Heat might take it a bit easier. They are hosting the LA Clippers tomorrow. The Heat are 6-10 so far this season. They really need W's, and the Clippers won't have Kawhi and Paul George. That's a very, very winnable game for the Heat tomorrow. And we know Spoelstra is super smart in these things. He will probably know that Nuggets will most likely roll over them, no matter what they do. So yeah, for the Heat, Butler is out, Leonard is out, Harkless is out. Questionables are Bradley, Hero, who missed 6 games, and Dragic. Just too many guys out. I'm closer to Denver -7 if everyone sits from the questionables. But even if a few guys play, I think this 5 is a bit too cheap on the Nuggets, knowing that Miami has another game tomorrow. If the Nuggets start strong, the Heat will most likely just pump the brakes. We've seen this, I mean, through the past 2 weeks, they had multiple games where they scored like 80 something points. When they see that there is no shot for them offensively, they just give up and obviously try to rest what has remained of this team. So yeah, Nuggets offensively have been always great, top 5 team in the league, no doubt. Defense has been stepping it up lately. It was my main issue with them to start the season, but they are allowing 3 points less per 100 possessions through the last 2 weeks than they did before. Michael Porter Jr. is back. He had a couple of better games right now. It's important for Denver to get another scorer who can be relied upon. On the other end, Miami ranks around 20th in the league on both sides of the ball. I mean, they aren't doing anything well right now, but they are obviously without the best player, and many of the guys have been out for a long time. I don't think you can bet the Heat until Butler comes back and injured guys get a bit healthier. They might be a huge buy low. I mean, I still think they will make the playoffs. They will be there. They will be one of the better teams in the East. So if you want to like grab like a Heat to win the East ticket, now is the time. I didn't check the price, but I will when we wrap this up. I still believe in them, but this is a tough matchup, and with the game, a winnable game tomorrow, I wouldn't bet on the Heat, but I really like Denver. I mean, they are forcing turnovers. As I'm always saying, the Heat are one of the worst teams when it comes to giving up turnovers offensively. A huge rebounding edge for Denver. We are talking about a top 5 rebounding team against the bottom 10 team. So yeah, all the matchup looks really good, and I think 5 is not enough here. All right, Pelicans, Washington Wizards. Well, yeah, this is a game where you have to pay some extra. The Pelicans are 7.5 point favorites on the road at home. Sorry, Wizards are on the road on a back-to-back. This is the worst team in the league right now with all the injuries. They put up 88 points against a terrible Houston defense. Basically, the Wizards have 3 good players, Westbrook, Beal, and Lopez. And Westbrook this season, I mean, he has the worst season ever. Efficiency is bottom 10 in the league, and he doesn't really care, seemingly. The problem is that the Pelicans are one of the worst defenses in the league. They are allowing 122 points per 100 possessions. That's, I think, second to last in the league right now. That's through the last 2 weeks, but through the whole year, they also rank as the 5th worst defense. So yeah, minus 11.5 point differential through the last 2 weeks. This is not a team you can lay 7.5 points with if they have a defense that's so bad. I'm making this closer to 6. So yeah, at 7.5, I think there is some value on the Wizards. I won't be touching it. But yeah, we've seen how easily they can be out rebounded. Obviously, the whole front court has been injured or affected by COVID. So yeah, this is one of the better rebounding teams in the league, and even the Spurs have been out rebounding the Wizards a few days ago like crazy. So yeah, we could see a dominant game from the Pelicans, but I'm not betting on it. 7.5 points is something you cannot lay with one of the worst defenses in the league, I think. And like Beal can anytime step up and win a game on his own. So next game, San Antonio Spurs hosting the Boston Celtics. Celtics are 3.5 point road favorites. I'm making this 2.5, so I show some value on the Spurs, but I personally like the Celtics, and I think why this might be a little bit too much of a respect given, I know why and I understand it. So Celtics have been ranking around the 10th in the league on both sides of the ball through the last 2 weeks when they didn't have Tatum. Now Tatum is back. They have Kemba back. He's not on the injury report. I think these two haven't been playing together at all. So yeah, as Kemba came back, while Tatum was out. So yeah, finally the Celtics are getting everyone back. And I mean, through the last 2 weeks, they had a plus 6 point differential. They have been outperforming their spreads by 3 points on average. And they were ranking top 10. Why not having Tatum? And Tatum has been playing on an MVP level. On the other side, I mean, Spurs. I was talking about this. They have faced a super easy schedule through the last 3 weeks or so. They are ranking 13th offensively and 8th defensively. But before this, they have been ranking around the 20th in the league in everything. And I don't think they made the huge improvements or anything like that. Just beating up shitty teams. It's a very well coached team. They know how to do that. So yeah, laying 3.5 on the road, as a lot of respect is given to the Celtics here, but I understand both teams here are really good at basketball. I mean, the fundamentals are there. I really like what both are doing, but the Celtics are just more talented. And yeah, so I make it 2.5. It's 3.5. I would not bet the Spurs here. It's really difficult to rate the Celtics because they missed Tatum for such a long time, and Kemba also, and now everyone is back. I think they might go on a little run here. So yeah, I would look at Boston or nothing, but I don't have a number edge, so yeah, I'm skipping the game. Next game, Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks. We'll go a bit faster as these last few games aren't super interesting. Jazz, I made this 3.5. The line is 4. Again, we are getting charged a bit of an extra to back one of the better teams in the league. Utah is on a 9-game win streak. They did cover all the 9 games. Through the last 2 weeks, they were plus 22 point differential on average, plus 9 against the closing spread. Amazing stuff. I mean, the Jazz are right now like plus 1,500 to win it all. They have been plus 4,000 before the season. I think what we are seeing is real. They will be overpriced for a while now, while always covering these numbers. I think they will cover here also. To be honest, I cannot back it up with numbers, but Dallas is getting back the guys from the COVID list. Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Powell will probably play here. Kleber is still out, but I think those guys have been out for so long that the conditioning won't be there. They will need some time to have an effect on the game. I don't think it will show here. And huge rebounding edge for the Jazz, second in offensive rebounding, 8th in defensive rebounding, while Dallas is 27th offensively and 16th defensively. Yeah, again, Dallas needs the free throws to stay competitive offensively. They aren't a strong offense this season. Utah gives up the least free throws in the league, just 14 per 100 shot attempts. That's an amazing stat. So yeah, strong rebounding, no free throws, home court, legit home court, one of the best teams in the league right now. I still have to see more from the Mavs. I think this -4 is okay. Next game, Phoenix Suns hosting OKC Thunder. Line is Phoenix -6, but we have Booker out. I think this probably may be the first game when Booker is out this season. I don't recall one. So he's averaging almost 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He's the best player on the team. I have to see the Suns perform without him before I can back them. Also, the spot sets up really well for Phoenix. They have been off for 3 days. OKC is playing their third game in 4 nights. They won't have Horford. Hill is still questionable, so potentially two starters out. As I said a few days ago, I will be backing OKC in good spots as they have faced a super tough schedule through the last 2 weeks and they have been grading very bad, but against the best teams in the league. I don't think it's a spot to jump on them against the super rested Phoenix team at home. And yeah, I think the 6.5 might be a pretty good deal on the Suns, even if Booker is out. I won't be playing, especially as the Suns are hosting Golden State tomorrow, so they are on a back-to-back, and that will be a way more difficult game probably. So yeah, they might not want to just spend all their energy here. Minutes might be limited on the players, so you don't want to lay big numbers in a spot like that. And obviously, Booker out is a huge hit to the offense that hasn't been the best to start with. Through the last 2 weeks, they are only the 23rd rated offense in the league. I like Phoenix, but not in this spot. All right, last game, Golden State Warriors, 8-point favorites at home. This is a rematch against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They closed as 8.5-point favorites a few days ago. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns is out for the Timberwolves, and D'Angelo Russell is questionable. Russell wasn't playing in the first game. I don't think he will play here. So yeah, Russell won't be 100% even if he plays. I think the Minnesota team, with the worst coaching in the league, without their two best scorers, isn't really competitive. They have the 46% effective field goal percentage in the last game. Defensively, they are allowing they had allowed 125 points per 100 possessions to Golden State. I mean, Golden State was super efficient, and they aren't an efficient offense besides Curry. So yeah, huge mismatch, but Golden State only ranks as the 22nd best offense in the league through the year. And I mean, they have a negative point differential. They aren't a good team at all. Besides Curry, the offense is bad. So it's not a team you want to lay almost 10 points with. That's the bottom line. I was leaning towards Minnesota in the last game. Obviously, it was on the right side. They had some success rebounding. I think Golden State's rebounding is pretty bad. A strong rebounding team can get to them, but I mean, if Russell is also out, this becomes a shit show pretty quickly. So yeah, stay away from this game. We have way better games to bet today. So I will sum it up. The sides that I like, Orlando, I think I'm not sure why this line is this low. I think the Kings will get better, but this isn't a great matchup with the banged up front court. I like the Pacers. If someone is playing anything around the pick'em, I think is a fair price, and I'm willing to pay that with Sabonis in. With him out, I don't think I would touch the game. At the Hawks at 7, even 6.5, I think is a very good bet if Young is playing. Make sure to follow the news updates. Lakers at Philly, they are the far better team. Philly can be shut down if you shut down Embiid. The Lakers defense is the best in the league, way better rebounding. I can just trust them a lot. I know Philly is like 9-1 at home or something like that, but I don't think the Lakers lost a road game this season. I think they will grab the W here. Denver going in Miami, super banged up Miami squad. 5 probably not enough there. And I think that's about it. I don't really like any more sides. Yeah, it's not the best betting slate, to be honest, despite us having tons of games. Yeah, but hopefully I was able to give you guys some value. Please like the video or the podcast if I did, and subscribe. It helps a ton. I will be off tomorrow, as I said. Only 4 games. I will tweet out some short analysis on these, and I will be back for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a 10-game Friday slate. Lots of rematches, but lots of great games. Denver Nuggets going into San Antonio is one that I'm really eyeing at the moment. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, have a great night.